The abandoned mining station on Turthos 9 had been silent for 3 cycles before Kalen arrived. The human surveyor expected rust, broken equipment, and maybe some salvageable parts. What he found instead were eyes. Dozens of them, glowing in the darkness of the main hangar, watching him with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. Kalen froze as the shapes emerged from the shadows. Cubs. Dozens of Crithian cubs, their silver fur matted and dirty, their once proud manes tangled. The largest among them, barely reaching Kalen's waist, stepped forward with a protective stance that would have been impressive if the cub wasn't trembling. "Stay back, human," the cub growled in broken galactic common. His voice cracked with youth and exhaustion. "We have nothing you want." Kalen slowly lowered his equipment pack, keeping his movements gentle. "My name is Kalen. What's yours?" The cub's ears flattened against his skull. Crithians were known throughout the galaxy as apex predators, their adults standing nearly 3 meters tall with claws that could tear through starship hull plating. This cub, this child, looked like he hadn't eaten in days. "Vash," the cub finally answered. "I am Vash. These are my responsibility." Kalen counted quickly. 23 cubs, ranging from what looked like toddlers to pre-adolescents. All abandoned. All alone. "Where are your parents, Vash?" The question hit like a physical blow. Vash's composure cracked, and for a moment, he was just a frightened child. "Gone." The mine collapsed. The company said rescue was too expensive. "They left us here. Said we were acceptable losses." Something cold and furious settled in Kalen's chest. He had heard of corporations abandoning unprofitable operations, but leaving children to die? His hands clenched at his sides. "How long have you been alone?" 16 days, Vash whispered. "The food ran out 4 days ago. The water recycler broke yesterday." His voice dropped even lower. "The little ones are crying. I don't know what to do." Kalen made a decision that would change everything. He activated his emergency beacon, then looked at Vash directly. "You don't have to do anything anymore. I'm here now." The words were simple, but they carried weight. Vash's legs buckled, and he sat down hard, the burden of leadership finally too much. Behind him, the other cubs began to emerge fully from the shadows, hope flickering in their eyes like fragile flames. Over the next hours, Kalen worked with methodical efficiency. He got the water recycler functioning again, then distributed his own emergency rations among the cubs. It wasn't much, but it was something. The smallest cubs, too young to even speak properly, climbed into his lap as he worked, seeking the warmth and comfort they had been denied for so long. Vash watched everything with wary confusion. "Why are you helping us? Humans are prey species. Everyone knows this. You should be afraid of us." Kalen smiled sadly as he cradled a sleeping cub against his chest. "I'm terrified," he admitted. "But not of you. I'm terrified of what happens if I don't help." "I don't understand," Vash said, moving closer. "Your kind is weak. Soft. You have no claws, no fangs, no armor. Yet you stay." "Strength isn't just about claws and fangs," Kalen replied. He looked at Vash, seeing the exhaustion, the fear, the desperate attempt to be strong for others. "You protected 22 cubs for 16 days. You kept them together when everything fell apart. That's real strength, Vash. That's the kind of strength that matters." Vash's eyes widened. No one had ever called him strong before. Cubs weren't strong. Cubs were protected until they grew into their strength. But this human, this supposedly weak creature, saw something different. The rescue ships arrived within 12 hours. Kalen had called in every favor he had, contacted every organization that might help. The first to respond wasn't a corporation or a government. It was a Crithian hunter fleet, led by the legendary warlord Thrace. When Thrace's shuttle touched down, Kalen expected trouble. Crithian hunters were the most feared warriors in the galaxy. But as Thrace emerged, his massive form filling the hangar entrance, his eyes went straight to the cubs clustered around Kalen. The warlord approached slowly, his claws retracted, his posture submissive in a way that shocked everyone present. He stopped 3 meters away and dropped to one knee, lowering his head. "Human," Thrace rumbled, his voice thick with emotion. "You have done what we could not. You have saved our children." Vash stepped forward, confused. "Lord Thrace? Why do you bow?" "He is just a human." Thrace's eyes, ancient and wise, turned to Vash. "He is the human who chose to stay when he could have fled. He is the human who fed you when he could have saved his resources. He is the human who called us when he could have claimed salvage rights to everything here, including you. The warlord's voice dropped to something almost reverent. Among my people, there is no higher honor than protecting cubs. This human has done so without hesitation, without expecting reward. More hunter ships arrived throughout the day. Each captain, each warrior, each crew member approached Kalen with the same gesture of respect. They brought food, medical supplies, and temporary housing. They brought news that shocked the galaxy. The corporation responsible for the abandonment had been dissolved, its executives facing trial for child endangerment. But more than that, they brought recognition. The Crithian Council declared Kalen an honorary pack member, the first non-Crithian to ever receive such an honor. More importantly, they declared him family to the cubs he had saved. As the sun set on Turthos, 9, Kalen sat surrounded by 23 cubs who refused to leave his side. Vash sat closest, his head resting against Kalen's shoulder. "Will you stay with us?" Vash asked quietly. "Will you be our family?" Kalen looked at the faces around him, at the trust and hope he saw there. He thought about his old life, his solitary surveying missions, his quiet existence. Then he looked at Vash, at this brave cub who had carried impossible weight with courage beyond his years. "Yes," Kalen said simply. "I will stay. I am your family now." Vash's purr, weak at first but growing stronger, was joined by 22 others. In the gathering darkness, surrounded by the most feared predators in the galaxy, a single human sat at the center of a new pack. And every hunter who witnessed it understood a fundamental truth. The fiercest warriors in the universe would always bow to those who protected cubs, regardless of species. Human compassion, it seemed, was the most powerful force of all.